Hi there, Cosmic Family. My name is Jaliel. In this incarnation, I am here today to talk about the energies of this next week from today, April 20th, until April 27th. So, the most important event that we have, it is the new moon in Taurus of April 27th. And I am going to explain that all the transits that we have this week in the context of that new moon, because they all participate of that. I'm going to mention them by dates, just for the people that are in contact with astrology and want to know. For example, today, April 20th, we have the perfection of the Sun in Taurus creating a square with Mars in Leo. On April 23rd, we have the Sun in Taurus perfecting its square with Pluto in Aquarius. On April 24th, we have Venus in Pisces perfection in the conjunction with Saturn in Pisces, in the degree 27. April 26th, we have Mars in Leo perfection in the opposition with Pluto in Aquarius. So all of them are part of the new moon. And so it is happening on April 27th in the degree 7 with 46 minutes. Every person that has fixed signs, ascendant, rising, or planets close to this mathematical degree of every fixed sign, they are going to feel it with a lot of strength. You know, we are talking about Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, and Leo. Well, yesterday I was telling that Taurus is this energy that represents resources, material security, stability in the physical reality. But yesterday I was telling too that in a great context that is involved with what we are transiting internally. Taurus symbolize life. That's why it is the complementary axis Scorpio, the death, because we can't have life without death. It is part of the cycle to allow the death of certain aspects so things can blossom again or can blossom in different ways. Taurus is the value that we give to ourselves, but also what we value externally, not only in terms of matter, that could be, of course, but also relationships that we value because what they contribute to our lives, because of the things that we can contribute to them. It is not only about the resources, the material resources, but also the inner resources, the physical body, the earth, economy, the social economy. All of this represents the energy of Taurus. So with the Sun and the Moon, they're creating a square with Mars and Leo by that moment. There could be presenting situations of tension and challenges that are offering this opportunity of growth. Squares are linked with this. And in this case, we are talking about recognizing our value, opportunities of recognizing our value, of recognizing what we truly want to create, what we want to share with other people, and how genuine we are being with the calling of our heart. Because, the shadow of Taurus responds to the material or emotional attachment, the possession, resistance to change, or resistance to change of posture in front of a situation. It is the famous stubbornness of Taurus. So with Mars in here, Mars in Leo, that also is in a fixed sign, this could take many forms. I'm going to give certain examples, but you are going to adjust this to your experience. So could be that circumstances are showing us that we are inhabiting a known space where our value, it is not being recognized, where we are not able to blossom. Could be that there is a need to express ourselves genuinely what we need, and to be able to establish bases of dignity and respect in circumstances, especially for people that have traveled to do this, to self-affirm in these occasions. This could be linked with saying enough with a situation of energetical abuse because Pluto is also participating, or that is not representing growth anymore. If masks were sustained to not deal with a situation, then it is very probable that they are going to fall with Pluto there. I am talking about, for example, if there is something that a person has been tolerating for a long time that is far away from dignity, deserving, or loyalty with ourselves, it is very probable that that situation is going to explode and has to change. Whether because it's a decision of us or because life is going to bring a situation. Perhaps the masks are related with what we truly want to do. Perhaps there are things that we really feel passionate of, and they are not fitting in the expectations of others. In that case, if there are people that cannot accept who we are, then it is a moment to reevaluate if we really want to sustain those relationships. Other shadow of Taurus, it is accumulating anger. Instead of expressing in an assertive way at the moment that we should do it, it is accumulating not well managed situations, and then exploding in anger and in a way that is not being that is not well channeled. Sorry. So it is very important to understand that these tensions could also imply arrogance, suburb, believing that we are in total certainty and that we are right, wanting to control or wanting to impose how others should act, resistance to change of idea or posture. This could be traduced in situations where there is a battle for the resources or there are manipulations with this. There could be shown the attachments to the matter. We all need material security in order to do our path. But this is also about the attachments of wanting to stay in a limited space, even if it's limited, and therefore it brings suffering. So many times when we talk about Taurus, we are talking about things that have accompanied us for a long time. They are a symbol of stability. Could be linked with a home, but with whatever thing that we are giving that symbol. And we are seeing this in the collective level. The powers of the world are confronting themselves in these matters. So other situations with Mars and Leo could be linked with overvaluing. I don't know if this is the word. Sorry, I'm going to look up for it because sorry. Overestimate. Okay, overvaluing. It was right. Okay, overvaluing our capacities. This could be linked with Mars and Leo, this illusion of superiority, believing that one is the one that knows more than everyone, and life there is going to show us the paths of humbleness, how it is necessary to go to the next level, to learn and to integrate aspects that we don't know. We all have aspects that we don't know. Even the person that you could consider an eminence in every matter, or the most talent artist, or whoever you are thinking about, the revelation of light is infinite. And many times we want to be at certain level or are at certain phase of the experience, but we are not recognizing that we need to integrate certain things to reach that space. Both overvaluing our capacities as much as not recognizing them are imbalances. The integration in here is using our talents, using our will, developing that potential to move ourselves to spaces of greater fertility. So let's go with the opposition between Mars and Pluto, because this is the third one that started, the cycle started the last year, 2024, on October, with the opposition between Mars in Cancer and Pluto in Capricorn. And we had another one on January with Mars retrograde and Pluto in Aquarius. And right now, this is the third one, but everything is direct and they are freeing their force. So, well, Mars is the planet of action and self-affirmation, and the tension, the opposition, it is perfected the day before of the new moon. We are going to have this energy very, very fresh. This opens a passage for the next 6 months in which we need to reconfigure our basis of security. We have to open ourselves to new ideas. And I am saying we have, because squares are this energy that is pushing us, even if this implies decisions that we didn't expect to take for now, because Pluto in Aquarius opens the field to the unexpected, the the surprises. That is Aquarius, and Pluto takes this color too in here. Well, Pluto is a planet of power, death, and transformation, the hidden things, the shadows, the unconscious, the taboo, sexuality. So, in Aquarius, which is a sign very associated to technology, it is showing us the power of technology, that technology is developing, and how perhaps we are not giving the dimension on the incidences that the artificial intelligences could have in our process, and that we are going to have to take in account many things in this context. Jobs that are not going to be necessary to be done by human beings, and aspects that imply the ethical or non-ethical use of the artificial intelligences, because uh, you know there are many people that already they are giving this distorted use to them. So also in the collective level, this could mean that people in the public eye, celebrities, famous people, are exposed in situations that are shady, or cancellations, these kind of things. And of course, many things are going to be revealed in this beginning of the Aquarius age. It is important to be revealed the distortions in every ambit, and whatever thing that represents an old form of power, because with Pluto in Aquarius, the new forms of power officially they didn't emerge. Pluto just has entered in here, and we are still in this process of collapse of the old paradigm. So it is the moment of greater chaos, basically. But I wanted to make emphasis in that these kind of things are important to be revealed, because they show what we have created as a society, but also they show the action of a society that judges according to how things are presenting in an apparent way, without information, and from a very comfortable place with the phone in our hands. Therefore, I think that from consciousness, it is very important to put the energy in creating, not in destroying others, and to trust that things will fall under their own weight. In the divine plan, everything has a purpose too. I know that there are circumstances in which this is difficult. In the individual, this also could involve situations that are coming out to light, and that are transforming everything, and that are pushing us to take new decisions that represent the death of something that we believed, or spaces that we associated with stability. With Taurus, we're talking about manifestations also in the physical body that could show the changes that we need to do. Tensions with Pluto, they are also about these new ideas that we have there. There is a calling that we recognized that we want to do, but assuming that path could be felt as give a leap into the void, as facing fears. The fears could take many forms, but with Mars and Leo could be linked with not being accepted, lack of validation, the fear of being ourselves, or discovering even what is on the other side of fear, because could be linked with dealing with the uncertainty of opening up to those experiences, new experiences. Mars and Pluto, in another aspect, could represent conflict. In the individual and collective level, like feeling a threat, an external threat, or wanting to be the one that controls situations that cannot be controlled, entering in these battles of with those external situations, because it is actually the ego, the one that is feeling threat, using manipulations to be seen or to obtain what we desire, and that is the inner child with its pain, the one that is manifesting. And this is also part of Mars in Leo. In fact, could be a position very, very childish in its actions, and we have to be attentive to these things. I mean, being adults, it doesn't imply that we have integrated all the parts and that we have re-equilibrated all the aspects of our identity or our ego. It is very probable that shadows are going to emerge for everyone, for everybody, and that we have to observe them in a new level. This is not comfortable, but it's necessary to grow. Mars in Leo, in its aspect more luminous, it is the identification of what does require our energy and what not, and what doesn't. The battles that it's better to lose them before draining ourselves in the process. And that is actually winning. It is not about winning to somebody else. It is about taming our ego in imbalance. It is the card of tarot, the force, the strength. It is taming the furious lion. It is about using our action, our capacity of action, to share our light with generosity, to focus in creativity, because every project that we have is creativity. And whatever form these tensions could take, there is an aspect of our identity that perhaps it is a little bit difficult to let go of, that we need to allow to be disintegrated, so we can purify ourselves, so we can connect with a version of us that is behind that shell, that layer. And well, the last thing that I wanted to mention, it is that the regent of this event is Venus in Pisces. And it's very curious because she was the regent of the last full moon in Libra, and now of the new moon in Taurus, because they are its houses. And in both of them, Venus was together with Saturn and with the North Node. So everything that we have been experimenting from the eclipse season, because we officially are closing that with this new moon, is redirecting. I don't know if that's the expression in English. Well, everything is redirecting us to our purpose of incarnation. We are talking about a great maturity with all the things that this imply, with the challenges that Saturn many times brings in its transits. But it's a maturity that starts in the relationship with ourselves, and that then can be extended to everything. Therefore, there is a great opportunity in decisions that we can take in great coherence with ourselves. There is always an opportunity in that. But in this context specifically, we have the possibility to materialize a reality much more aligned with that we desire from our heart, with great dreams. But in order to do that, we have to bring ourselves to Earth, Sun in Taurus, and to the decisions of the here and now. This is a portal of great evolution. If we know how to put a boundary to the things that cannot accompany us anymore, and to put the perseverance and the necessary efforts in what builds in the long term, from higher relationships. From relationships from a higher space. More conscious space, and creative and inspiring ways of generating resources to connect with the sustenance. So I am going to end this video here. Thank you, everyone, and see you in the next one. Ciao, ciao.